Hello everybody and welcome to the final round of the Clark St James GT3 Championship here run by the Tanso Racing Group. This is the culmination of Season 5 and at the end of tonight's racing we will know the name of the champion for both the Pro and the Am class, and it is still up for debate. Both of those championships are still not settled even after the last round at Road Atlanta 7 days ago. It's myself, Ian O'Leary, with Biggles again this time around, and we're at Donington Park here this time around. Biggles, a difficult circuit, one where there is very little runoff, not too much in the way of elevation change, but certainly a challenge. And I think maybe not in this field of drivers, to be fair, because there are quite a lot of UK and Ireland drivers, but generally across the board in our racing, people don't have quite as much experience around this circuit as they do in quite a lot of others.
Yes, good evening and welcome, Ewan. Good to be back at the booth. It is it's your neck of the woods and your backyard, of course. Donington Park is one of those classic tracks that a lot of people have actually driven on in real life there and had the opportunity to race any cars around there. I think you can even race your own car around there, can't you, on certain track days and things like that. But we shall say there are a few drivers on the field who have actually driven cars around here, but it'll be a good question to see whether they've actually done it here in Donington Park or not. We are just shy, very shy of 3,000 subscribers, so if you are joining us this evening, please hit that subscribe button there and maybe you'll be the lucky 3,000th subscriber for JP Broadcasting Network.
Absolutely, I'm not sure what the actual figure is in terms of how close we are, but yeah, there could be a 3,000th crowned in the next hour. We'll see. Qualifying is going on just at the moment, so while that is going on, I'll just remind you of the championship standings. In the pro standings, it is Andy White currently leading the way ahead of Harry Hartley-Price. They are the only two drivers who are now able to take the title after Peter Duke and Dylan Bates-Bliss were points, and so White needs to finish within 9 positions of Harry Hartley-Price to take the title. That seems very likely, considering the amount of pros we've got on the field. It may even be that he just has to start the race and he will be crowned champion. We'll wait and see on that. It is 24 points at the top of the AM standings for Phil Giles, who was beaten by Sean Clark last week, so 3 points were gained there by Clark. Jared Love is third. He's now not going to be winning this championship either, and he's pretty secure in his third place as well, with a big gap back to Christopher Haynes and John Johnson rounding out the top 5. So the two championship leaders both looking safe, both looking all right for the moment. However, things can change very easily on a championship final day, and you can get very nervous as well when you're the championship leader coming into the final round. So hopefully they don't, and they have a good race this evening. But it is the last round of the season, and those who are fighting for the championship will of course be apprehensive about this race, that's for sure.
Final rounds are always nerve-wracking for everybody that's put in so much during the season, so we're going to find out about that Season 5 to be wrapped up. Season 6, make sure you get your sign-ups and be a part of this fantastic racing network for the GT3s here for Tanso. There's also other racing that Tanso do for the 86s as well too, if you'd like to get behind a Toyota, my friend. But for now, you've got to focus on what kind of car GT3 you want to be looking at for next season. But they've all been a good spread of cars, haven't they? The Lambos, the Porsches, the McLarens, the Ferraris, and the Mercedes. I mean, pretty much got it all, don't we, my friend?
Apologies, I think I just dropped out there, talking to myself. Yeah, we've got 5 different manufacturers in the top 5 at the moment, which is absolutely fantastic. Mercedes, Acura, Porsche, Ferrari and McLaren up front, with Lamborghini a little bit further down as well. So yeah, great variety on this GT3 grid. As you say, the sign-ups are open for Season 6, so just to give you a little bit of detail on that, you can join in using the Discord link in the video description, and that will get you to sign up for this Discord. Season 6 sign-ups are now open. If you go to that channel in the Discord and you follow the sheet, you will be able to do it from there. The season launches on the 3rd of March. That is 2 weeks away, with 3 promo races and then the 6-round calendar, which includes a 90-minute special at the end of the season where the weather will be variable at Le Mans. That is the conclusion at the end of April. But before then, the Red Bull Ring, Watkins Glen, Algarve, Mugello and Road America will play host to our our rounds of the next championship. I very much look forward to it. It's always a great series to be a part of. GT3 racing is always great to do as well, especially at those more sort of Grand Prix oriented circuits. And we should see some good racing at those. Half a tenth ahead of Peter Duke at the moment, half a tenth the gap, and so White is looking good. The championship leader looking like he's going to maybe take another pole as well.
Well, that's the best way to set the standard, isn't it, for Andy White? So you're just cutting out a little bit there, Ewan, every once in a while. You're just disappearing. That's just Discord doing Discord things. Andy White, yeah, HHP for Harry Hartley Price, which I tell you what, sounds like a law firm. Certainly is. And he just, what is he, looking 40? We're going to do your mathematics on that one, my friend. How many points he is currently behind the champions? 186 to 213, I believe, right? So, got to do your math on that. Are you back there, Ewan?
Yep. I'm very briefly dropping and returning immediately afterwards, so I don't really know what that even is, but anyway, I hope that it just stops and sorts itself out. To be honest, we will wait and see. So just under 3 minutes to go in this qualifying session, and Duke is still out there at the moment, coming round the final corner. Here he is in the Acura, in fact, making his way now out onto the start-finish line. And starting another lap. Now, will this be the lap maybe where he gets close to Andy White? That was a 1 minute 30, just setting himself up for another go here.
Let's right on board at the moment. We'll just sort out our technical issues in the background, so please bear with us. Enjoy a lap around Donington Park from Mr. Peter Duke.
Into the old hairpin. Really fast right-hander through to all right, apologies for that. We've hopefully got those audio connections sorted up now, and you can hear me properly. A minute and a half still to go. This is going to be Duke's best last chance, if you like, to try and take the pole position away from Andy White into the final corner. He now goes. Green sectors across the board. Will it be good enough, though, to get the half-tenth that he needs here over the line? It's going to be quite close. Yes, he does. Wow, 26.7 right at the end. Duke does enough to get the pole position. Just in the background, Hartley Price also comes over the line. I don't think he is going to be challenging for pole, but he might move up to third with that lap time there. Doesn't look like it. No, he's staying fourth for the moment, but he's got just under a minute left as well. Looks like Duke might have stolen this right at the end.
Let's see if Andy White is out on track on a lap, but not really flying, not really personal best at the moment. He needs to beat that time there of a 26.79. Dying stages now, 34 seconds remaining qualifying.
It really is last chance, and I'm afraid White is not going to be improving with this lap time here. He is going to get over the line into, a bit wide through the final corner there. You can see off in the grass, that will probably have invalidated that lap anyway, but it wasn't going to be any quicker, I wouldn't have thought. So the seconds tick by, and the time will elapse very shortly. Sean Clark making his way over the line now as well. Personal best in the second last sector for him. The only driver who could get ahead of Phil Giles at the end of the day in that championship. He goes up to 8th place there with that lap time for him. So good lap from him. Checkered flag waves here in qualifying. And so it's last chance for White. Duke is in pit lane. White with just this one last chance to get into the front of this session.
Just checking out the other classes, of course. Andy White, fantastic for himself. And Phil is currently in P5, so Jared Love might look like he might take out the AM Pro. AM class, sorry, we'll get it all right. We'll get ourselves sorted out. So, because certainly is technical issues in the background, because we'll get it all sorted. We need to get it all out of our system right now, because of course these drivers are going to be representing their finale race here this evening. I love the Scooby-Doo. Where are you, Mr. Dillon? You're over there.
He wasn't here last week, actually.
You're over there.
But, he's gone again from the session. We'll see him in the race, but you can see his livery on the bottom left. White, unfortunately, not able to continue on, and he knew that wasn't going to be any better. He went back to pit lane. Mickey Dolan here, still out on the circuit. Looks like the session is pretty much over, though, by him returning to the pit lane. And very soon, we'll be ready to go for our final race of the season. As I mentioned before, as long as the two championship leaders in both Pro and Am actually start this race, it's looking very good for them to actually take their championships as well. But there is still a race win up for grabs anyway over the course of the next 40 minutes. So we will look forward to that as Porsche jumps out the pit lane.
Yeah.
While we're waiting here, Jared Love.
Day late, dollar short on that one there, Jared. It should be, there he is.
Going back to pit lane. And that should be the end of the session, although I'm not sure when our racing's going to actually advance it for us.
In 8 seconds,
When
7, 6, 5, 4. There's your camera operator. Barney's like, don't think you need to wear the flag anymore there, Barney, but you know what? Just get the exercise.
He does get a lot of exercise in, but only his right arm. He's going to be very strong. Anyway, yeah, that's the end of the session. When the last driver on the circuit doesn't cross the line in the normal way, it tends to get a bit confused. Anyway, the session does now move on, and we are ready to go for the final round of the season. With that relatively late lap, Peter Duke has taken pole ahead of Andy White, with Harry Hartley-Price and Jared Love on row 2. Love on the pole in the AMS ahead of Phil Charles, with Tim Reed alongside. Tim Cullimore and Sean Clark are on row 4 ahead of Dylan Pace-Bliss and Mark Wesley rounding out the top 10. It's Mickey Dolan and Adrian Hatfield sharing row 6. Ahead of those towards the back, Christopher Haynes, John Johnston and Scott Kostrich, who are the bottom 3 drivers. Not everyone got lap times in, but everyone will get onto the starting grid for the race and for that run down in towards turn number 1 as well. I'm not sure where they're gridding up, actually. It might be around the back of the circuit.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Through just before the sort of Grand Prix add-on. Normally, when series like British Touring Car and other slower categories go here, they turn right down at turn 9 before a left-handed turn 10, but he turned left down here at turn 9 this lap, then right at turn 10 for a hairpin, the Melbourne hairpin, which is actually steeper downhill than it suggests in the sim in real life, and then Goddard's, which is turn 12, which is very off-camber indeed. So just an extra couple of corners for these cars, but still a very short lap and a short pace lap now for these drivers to get ready to start this final race of the season.
I love those. You'll see those little fake cones that they have there, those little plastic pylons. They will go straight through there, and they'll go and flying through them during qualifying, during the practice session as well, too. Luckily, they're not concrete. Do not worry. They will not damage the cars. But you won't want to be cutting completely. Just ignoring them on the inside, you most likely will get a little naughty off-track excursion. And too many of those, penalty, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to be aware of that around this circuit, especially more than others too. It's again another one of those circuits, and we've had quite a lot of them on this calendar where mistakes are punished very easily. Not much tarmac run off around here. Same went for last week and the week before and the week before that. It's been a theme for this series. Out of the final corner come the field, and into the pit lane goes the pace car. Peter Duke in control of the field, and he's not waiting around. The green flag waves on the final race of the Clark St James GT3 Championship here from Donington Park, and it's Duke who takes the racing line in towards turn 1 and the lead as well. Andy White into second, then of Harry Hartley-Price, and then just off in the background there, that looked like Dylan Pace-Bliss and the McLaren, who's going to be dropping down a little bit, but all 15 of them get through the opening corner of Redgate all right, and down the Craney curves for the first time single file. They've sorted out well on this opening lap.
So far so good, as you can currently see on your pictures. Just like 3 positions out actually gained there for Mickey. Sean Clark's down 1, Dylan's down 1. You saw him going off a little bit wide. Christopher Haynes is also up 2, but that top 7, no changes.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't often see that, but Top 7 all in a line. Harry Hartley-Price got that late lap to qualify third overall, just ahead of Jared Love in the AM lead, which he still holds after the opening lap. And towards the chicane they go. White applying all that pressure to Duke, and it's not a bad run at all. Out of turn 9 and 10. Is there going to be a chance into the Melbourne hairpin? He was close, but he doesn't go for it. And it is a chance because of the downhill nature of the corner. It is a bit of a chance to stick yourself down the inside. White didn't decide to go for it there. If he waits too long here, then Duke's going to get settled here at the front of the race, and he's going to start to find this defence a little bit easier. So I think White has got to try and strike early on, if you like. Try and take this race lead away.
This is what he's exactly trying to do, not letting Mr. Duke go too far up the road. So far so good, just keep him honest, and that's exactly what he's doing, filling the mirrors of the DC Motorsport machine full of Mr. Andy White for the HB Racing 186.
He is absolutely filling the mirrors at the moment. We've seen these races be so competitive this season. He's the championship leader, but we've seen just the 3 wins for him, and Jim McLuhan is the only other driver to have taken a couple of wins. So in round 6, the 6th and final round of this championship, maybe we're going to see a different winner here and a first-time win for Duke, but that's not a very good run around the right-hander. He's not going to go for it up the hill here and towards Coppice, though. White just backs out of it through there. It's a blind corner. You can't really see where you're going, and the Mercedes will hang back. But Peter Duke at the moment is under a lot of pressure, and he looked like he was feeling it there through turn 7.
That's exactly what he needs to be doing, because HB in the background, Harry's starting to catch them, as well as Jared Love, just falling half a second down the back there. So it's going for HHP at the moment. He's just going, all right, Andy White, you've had your shot. Give me a chance at Duke.
And he is going to get that chance now as he gets down the inside into the Melbourne hairpin, and he goes through into second place. Then it's Andy White. Now it's Jared Love deciding what to do. He was pulling a bit of a margin over Phil Giles, by the way, in second in the AM class, but that's gone away now because of the battle. He had to slow up to let that sort itself out. Now he's under pressure again himself. But will he maybe challenge the Pro Championship leader, who has indeed lost this lead, or lost his second place, I should say, confirmed at the end of lap number 2. It is now down to Harry Hartley-Price to do the work to catch up to Duke and maybe give it another go at trying to overtake him.
Just trying to get the car audio all sorted out for everybody. Please let us know how those sounds are out there in the chat around the outside. Oh, that's bold and brave.
Right, they're got a very good run through the old hairpin. I think it was a mistake from Price, and so through goes Andy White, and up into second again, although he's now a bit wide. Again, the McLaren has looked down the inside, and they battle it out. Side by side, meanwhile, between Giles and Love, is it? Or is it Giles and Reed in the background? It is for 5th place. Reed there having a look at the top 5 for the first time. Tim Reed in the Porsche. He was down the inside, and he looks like he's through. He's still side by side into the chicane. He's going to come out the other side with the position. It is the AM Championship leader. Tim Reed's first attack is not worked out then in that case, and so he drops behind. Meanwhile, Hadfield drops behind Christopher Haynes as well, who is up into 12th place, up 1 place from where he started.
Battles all around further back the field here. We're looking at Adrian Hatfield there and Christopher Haynes going for it too for now. That's a position gain there for the Ferrari driver of Christopher, and Adrian Hatfield there is down the 1, but that's a gold class versus the AM class as well too, so they're going to be trying to get the maximum points here that they can get to dictate how it's going to pan out in the rest of the championship. And Adrian Hatfield, he's 9th at the moment anyway, so he's got too much to lose.
I'll look up the inside, but no chance to go through there. Good evening to everyone watching on at home, by the way. Paz Racing says good evening and good luck to Andy, Harry, Tim, Sean and everyone else indeed in the field. Supporting nearly all the field there in the chat. Good afternoon to him, or evening rather. So yeah, it's good to see you watching along here tonight. Lap 4 only of this race, still a long way to go here at Donington Park, the final round of the Clark St James GT3 Championship for season number 5. Season 6 just around the corner, starting up again in 2 weeks' time for the season 6. On board with Hatfield here then. How close can he get to Haynes here, and where can he look to maybe make the move? He's looking up the inside here, but No chance this time. Again, looks. Again, tries. Oh, now he will go for it. That's later on the brakes. That's more convincing. And that is a position. That's how you do it in towards turn number 9. Much more convincing. A slide on the exit as well from Haynes means that Wesley is going to try and come through as well into the Melbourne hairpin. Although Haynes breaks late on the inside line to hold on and does so in 13th place. Further up ahead, Phil Giles, the AM Championship leader, has gone for a spin on the way towards the final corner. Well, these are the things that can happen on the final round of a championship. And for Phil Giles, it has happened. He's now in danger of dropping outside the top 10 as Scott Kostritz gets alongside him, looking to make up his 5th position of the race. He's tentatively going into the corner, and he's not going to manage it for the moment. But the championship leader dropping down the field to 10th.
Kevin a battle as well too, trying to fight his way back. Thank you very much for bearing with us. I'm still trying to sort out some of those audio issues as much as possible, keeping an eye on this one. We'll go back and have a look at the replay of Phil in a minute. We're going to go back up to the front of the hub field here, but because Andy White and Harry Hartley have just switched to route again, my friend. Harry, go ahead. Because Andy White's come off track, just to show that one, unfortunately. This is what's happened, that situation.
They're always swapping positions, these two, by the looks of it. Wide in towards turn 7, was it? Yep, misses the apex and off into the grass. It wasn't a big moment off, but it was enough for the McLaren to get back through. Here is Kostritz and Giles again. Kostritz on the outside and the Porsche. They're both driving for the apex here. Oh, how have they got through there? Good driving between the two of them. Maybe not the most sensible if you're thinking about race time and trying to keep that race time down, but it was a good battle between the two of them and they just managed to squeeze each other through.
Well, very lucky they don't have those tyres on the inside of that corner there that you see in some of the circuits there. There would have been somebody straight into them at high speed, but luckily you get a little bit of an escape runoff area. You get the battle back there, Mark Wesley and Christopher Haynes. They're still going for it too for now. And when we go back and quickly have a look at that replay, what happened to Phil. And here it is here, my friend. And we've seen this, isn't it? A blind corner turning down to the left here. As he's just gone too deep and went around. There it is.
Off camber. And oh wow, don't rejoin like that. That was right in front of Dylan Bass-Bliss there, and he was lucky there, Giles, that he didn't get drilled through the final corner. I get that he wanted to get back going again as quickly as possible, but you've got to be very careful and take extra care, in fact, when you're rejoining, especially around an off-camber turn hairpin like that one.
Yep, he'd probably say, I had plenty of time to spin that car around and get ahead of everybody else without an unsafe return. According to the driver's book, at least Formula 1 drivers would say that in a heartbeat, wouldn't they? Say, no problems. Yeah, I planned it perfectly. I knew I had enough space. No problemo. Of course, stewards might look at it another way, differently. There's still continuing this battle for P2, as this battle is actually allowing Mr. Peter Duke to get up that road by 1.3 seconds now.
Yeah, it's a nice lead for Peter Duke. That pole position lap all of a sudden looks so important, doesn't it? The way he was able to just improve by less than a tenth on his last attempt to take the pole by half a tenth, and all of a sudden that track position is looking very, very nice for him indeed now. This is Tim Reed just looking up ahead at the free in front, not quite battling as hard for second place as they were earlier on 10 minutes into this race, but they are still pretty close together, and it is still by far the biggest group on the circuit, especially if those two up front start to fight between themselves. Then the likes of Tim Reed will catch back up again, as we can see here in the Porsche. In second place, Harry Hartley-Price is making some inroads. At least he was on the way down the hill there. Last time round, he gained half a tenth of a second. It's going to be a very slow game of catching if that is the rate of closing for Harry Hartley-Price. We'll see if he can catch maybe a little bit quicker in these next few laps.
He has been the fastest man on the track of late. That's why I wanted to show him there for a second, because no doubt I don't think it'll be too long before he may be onto the back of these two that are battling currently pitches. You see him in there. It's the double Scots of Jared Love and Tim Reed, and they're flying. And so obviously is HHP through that corner there as well, too, just absolutely throwing that McLaren around. As you can see, Andy White's also trying to throw that Mercedes around. Mercedes and McLaren want to be hearing that one this year in Formula 1, and just need to add a Ferrari into the mix. I don't know about Red Bulls.
Yeah, absolutely. This is through the final corner again. White will get a nice exit off the final corner, and Hartley-Price will continue to try and drive that margin down again. Personal best from Duke and Hartley-Price that time round as they go over the line. Sean clocked it a couple of laps ago. He goes over the line again there with another personal best. That's 2 in a row for him now. He's currently running in 8th place, and 3rd place in the AM Championship. Would be closing again on Giles as things stand. Personal best that time round, or the previous time, sorry, 2 laps ago for Adrian Hadfield as well, running in 12th place. He's trying to keep up with Giles and Kostrich, who are fighting for 10th place, but that's not happening for the moment. Christopher Haynes also personal best that time round, but 4 seconds off the pace compared to the leader. There are some big gaps in the field already here, just over 10 minutes into the race. Just 1 second now the lead for Peter Duke. He might have made an error somewhere, or maybe Hartley Price is just a bit quicker at the moment, but the gap down to a second from 1.5 where it was earlier.
Yeah, it is actually. There's Peter Duke. Bang. It is just dropped to almost under a second. I don't see anything on race control messages saying Peter Duke had gone off the track, but maybe he just didn't go off the track enough to justify any kind of indication. But you can see clearly on your pictures right now, he has certainly lost a little bit of that lead. He's trying to regain it right now. Down the straightaways, he seems to be a little bit quicker than some of the other drivers. I was keeping an eye on both those double Scots too, because Tim Reed's starting to catch Jared Love for that P4 position. There they are, the top 4 in your pictures.
Great to have the leaders all in one shot there. Top 5 in one shot there down the front straight, by the way. Very nice to see. Only 18 degrees on the circuit, by the way. Pretty cool temperatures, but as often has been the case with this, camera makes me laugh.
Seen camera angles like this before with the camera guy. I don't know. Have you ever seen that before?
He's not really filming it very well, is he?
No.
Through the crowd of curse. Anyway, sorry, I was distracted completely there by what I was saying. Just 18 degrees on the circuit, as most of these races have been. I believe we're racing earlier in the morning. It's certainly not middle of the day by any means. It's sort of sunrise kind of times here today. Yeah, there you go, 9:05 in 2 weeks' time, effectively, this race, and in terms of today's date. So that's not too far away from sunrise. Would have been up for a couple of hours by this point, but not too long. So that's where we are at the moment, and that's where most of this race has taken place here through the season. That's where most of the races, I should say, have taken place over the course of these 6 rounds. Another personal best from Hartley Price last time round, 4 attempts quicker than Peter Duke, who's going to start to be feeling the pressure now. Earlier on, he was looking to run away, and maybe you could argue was being successful in running away at one stage, but he is no longer being that successful at it, to be honest. He is being reeled in now by the driver of the McLaren, who's maybe looking like the quickest driver on the circuit as things stand. Yeah,
his last lap was the quickest lap. Let's see what sort of time goes on the board now. Being replaced by Jared Love, had done 27 flat on that one. Jared running in P4, so he's trying to build up that little bit of a distance between these other Scottish counterpart of Mr. Tim Reed, as you can see in the background, so they're starting to spread out a little bit, but Harry is still quicker. On the last lap it was 27.15, 27.31 for Peter Duke, so Duke's responding a little bit, but not quite enough, but got to get in that slipstream, don't you? It seems that Harry needs to at this point, but there it is, your top 4, all separated by a second.
It's great to see. It really is. It's one of those circuits here at Donington where it can be hard to overtake from time to time, and there isn't really any getting away from that. But we've seen so far here tonight that it certainly is possible. It's just about getting close enough, and that can be a bit of a graft around here as well. These 4 drivers, especially at the front though, seem to be very well accustomed to this circuit. Can't help but notice they're all from the UK and Ireland in some way, shape or form. And so that may give a bit of a home style advantage on guys like Dylan Bates-Bliss, for example, who's the first and only non-UK and Ireland driver in this race. But yeah, it's great to see at the front. And back here, the battles are going on as well. Phil Giles still holding on to 9th, but that was Mickey Dolan getting back into 10th place. Made a really good start, was up in 8th at best, Dolan, but he's now dropped back because of this. Here on replaying towards turn 7. Turns in for the corner, up on the inside, goes a bit wide, goes through the gravel into the outside, and has a bit of a palaver getting back on the circuit as well. He eventually lost out to Phil Giles there in 9th place, and Scott Kostrich is right there as well. There goes the AM Championship leader straight through.
Yep, there's a classic indication of the new debris model in action here in iRacing by picking up all the kitty litter on his tyres, and then of course it reflected onto the next couple of corners, which it just couldn't quite get the traction down there. Loses the place to Phil, currently running a P10.
It's It's a little bit further down than where he was at his height. As I say, 8th place was his best running result. I think he was overtaken by Base Bliss not long afterwards, though. There he is,
but
the American.
He's also had a problem here from Dylan.
Oh, okay.
So
I know he had to avoid Phil Charles in his rejoin earlier, but he went for a spin himself through the very same corner. So he's not going to be best friends with this corner, I would imagine, by the end of the day. That's just a simple spin. Again, so difficult, so off camber, so easy to spin round there.
Yep, but he was a little bit better in a position for the rejoin in that case. But not as many cars, of course, around behind him in that place, so they've spread it out a little bit more, which they currently have. There is our race leader, still holding on for Mr. Peter Duke. And as Harry's trying to chase him down, Andy White in that P3 position. As that pan out in the championship standings, we'll get Ewan to start crunching some mathematics a little bit deeper into this one.
Yeah, I'll have my calculator on fire later on. There'll be smoke coming out my ears and all sorts. We'll try and get that out before the end of the day. It is looking almost pretty certain, though, for those that came in with the championship lead. And we were talking, actually, to Harry Hotley-Price, who's second in the Pro Championship going into this race. We were talking to him after Road Atlanta 7 days ago, and he actually thought it was sewn up at Road Atlanta. He didn't know whether it was confirmed. Not mathematically, it isn't confirmed for the championship leader, Andy White, just yet, but it is almost confirmed. There is a pit stop in this race, by the way, in case you've not seen this series before. And John Johnson is currently in making his stop. 45 minutes worth of a race. Normally, of course, that doesn't mean you need to make a stop in GT3s, but it does in these cars that are limited on fuel. So we will see
Mickey.
those. Oh, here's Kostritz. Going to try and get past Dolan. He was all out of shape there over the top of the hill through turn 8. Now he's being edged over to the other side of the road, and here comes Kostritz through into 10th place. Dolan now back to where he started in 11th.
Yeah, Mickey having a few little mistakes in the last couple of laps there, just struggling a little bit with the traction there of his Lamborghini, and goes deep into the marbles. Couldn't quite get it stopped. I don't know if he's broken a brake disc or something like that. He's just certainly struggling in these last couple of laps now.
Yeah, I don't know what's gone wrong, really, either. Just seems to have slightly unravelled for him. It's going to get your dirt on your tyres. That just make the next few corners a bit difficult, but it shouldn't make it a prolonged problem. Seeing that Dolan is, after a good start to this race, having more trouble now. Here we go. Oh, there's traffic. That's why it's come down so much. John Johnston getting out in front of these guys. And Duke there. Couldn't quite negotiate him quick enough. Here comes Harry Hartley-Price. This is a proper battle for the lead now.
If you can see anything as well. With that blinding sunlight in your eyes, and you're in VR, they'd be punishing you. And you've got to remember, Andy White's just behind these cars as well, too. So great battle for P1 currently at the moment. Wow, what a moment. Yeah, JJ coming out of the pit lane, my friend. Oof, that could have been looking in a whole different situation. Looks like there's a flare going off inside the car at the moment from Harry.
Yeah.
It's a flare. It's got fireworks going on.
It's a very bizarre lighting situation. Here we go. Oh, he has a look down the inside at the Melbourne hairpin. It's a great overtaking chance down there, even if it isn't very long straight. And that doesn't really do it justice to how steep the slope is in real life, and indeed how steep the slope feels when you're in the car. This is much more like it through the final corner. That really does feel as though it does in real life. But down the Melbourne hairpin, such a long braking zone because it is so far downhill. Gravity just pulling you on, almost seemingly like there's a bit of gravity in the tyre barrier on the outside that's just pulling you wide every time as well. It's a great overtaking chance despite the lack of a straight beforehand. And that might be where we see some moves. Down the corner curves we go, approaching half distance in the final round of the Clark St James GT3 Championship for Season 5. And Peter Duke is still in the lead, but he's under a lot of pressure now. He didn't use that opportunity when he got out 1.5 seconds ahead of the rest. He could have put this race to bed, really. He hasn't been able to do that, and now he's under pressure again.
And it's going to be all interesting when these drivers go down a pit road as well, too. Who's going to go in? Undercut, overcut? How's it going to pay off? Have you been practicing your pit stops? You've got to be pretty perfect at the moment, considering these top three drivers separated by a second. Make one small mistake like that, Peter Duke can find himself in P3 after a round of pit stops.
Yeah, that's going to be the key moment of this race as well. Are we still going to have a battle for the lead after that? Is going to be one of the key questions as well. Maybe not, but you just never know. Andy White's been lurking here, hasn't he? You just wonder whether he's been fuel saving maybe a little bit more than these guys, and he might be able to jump them a little bit later on because he has been there and present in this battle. He's just not been trying to make any overtakes.
Oh, he's sitting back, relaxing, enjoying the show up the road there, seeing these two come together, and will capitalise on that anytime he can. And as you can see, down the straightaway to start another lap here at the moment. Laps don't count, of course, they're just there for a measurement. Time is what is certainly fuel low. That's not actually the fuel situation, of course. You can see in his dash. We don't get that information. That would be for the spotters out there that be sitting there letting everybody else know. But we need to know that at some point they will get to a low fuel and they'll have to come in box.
Yep, they will get there pretty soon as well. Won't go too far past halfway in this series because of the limitation. Now then, towards turn 7. This is where we've seen a few drivers running wide this afternoon. White going a little bit wide earlier on. Nicely done this time around. You can see the tyre tracks actually on the outside there as they just push the absolute limits through that corner. Turn 8 not quite good enough for Harry Hartley-Price to get side by the chicane. Not really an overtaking opportunity because it's such a short braking zone. There you go, 5th gear down only to 3rd before throwing it into the turn. It's a better line though from Hartley-Price. He should have a good exit, but look at that, 3 tenths behind. It's an almighty lunge from back here. He will have a look, but no chance again. Duke hangs on again. He's soaking up this pressure well now.
Talk about throwing it in the corner, literally. Right on that one, isn't it? Just chuck the corner in there, and it's just like throwing an airplane. Just throw it and just glides in.
I think this McLaren always looks like it handles really well, actually. I've never actually driven it myself, but the way when I'm riding on board with drivers here in our racing in the McLaren, it always looks really well planted to the ground. Maybe not a car you'd enjoy, particularly if you like oversteering a car, but you're wanting a car to be planted to the ground, a GT3 to be a little bit on the understeery side, perhaps.
Whoa!
There's Duke going wide. There's the chance. Hartley-Price has been probing for a while now, and he's gone for it, and he's through. Just a small mistake through the old hairpin, and that's all it takes for Peter Duke. Now it's the lead for Harry Hartley-Price. He was not going to need a second opportunity now, and here's Andy White, who's going to try and take advantage as well.
Yep, we caught that on board. Kind of just had this sinking suspicion that they were doing that. Look at that, they use their wipers as well to get off of that little muck and gum and make sure that there's no kangaroos. Put your roo chutes on, they call them, so that the kangaroos don't pop out there and jump in front of your car. I think you're going to get up here in Donington Park. But look at the entry into that, kicking up all the kitty litter on there. Andy White's going, okay, if Harry Hartley-Price can do it, maybe I can try to steal P2 away from Peter Duke.
Yeah, this is a bit of a stack up, Concertina. And Duke will accelerate away out of the corner. In that case, now then, is there a chance for Duke to come in now? Having lost that, now he's lost that position, is he going to just stem the tide and come in? No, he'll carry on, and we will see just where he decides to come in, because we're only just past halfway, and the problem again is for these drivers, if you do decide to come in, you're going to be in a world of traffic and a world of pain as well, so you would imagine they will stay out for quite some time here, but you never know, the tactics could force them to do unusual things. We'll see whether that is the case here for Hartley-Price, Duke and White. Still 1, 2 and 3 with 21 minutes remaining in the season.
I've been wondering what happened to Jared Love and Tim Reed. They were just hammering earlier. They were doing quicker lap times than the front three at the moment, but they've just fallen off. You could just see Jared Love in the background there. Tim Reed dropped off quite significantly from there. He's about a second change down the road there from Mr. Jared Love, which is interesting, but of course Jared Love's in a different class. In that case, it's good for Jared Love because he's got a bit of a gap there to Tim Cullimore, but these drivers still yet to take their pit stops. But I was just curious as to now these top three just cranked it up a little bit more, just lapping, 28s, late 28s, 29s actually for Peter Duke on that one because of that small little mistake. So we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, we will. It's just the pace of the race. I think that Love and Reed have not quite been able to stay with. It's a different story staying with them here for the first 5-10 minutes than it is staying with them throughout 25 minutes. A whole different ball game. Duke is starting to have that same struggle as well now, I think. Oh, and White doesn't go for it. Notice the lifting off there in towards turn 1. There was a real good chance for him to have a go at Redgate there, but he just lifted off. He didn't want to go for it.
Fantastic racing. Dylan's in, Phil's in on the pit lane, as you can see up on your pitches. It'll be their pit stop, scheduled pit stops. I can't see anything at the moment. I'm sure Andy White hopefully can. He's just flying up there. Look at that. Most of the drivers might have their graphics turned down a little bit. We have them cranked up there for spectating views, of course. And look at that. That's just blinding. VR headset, you wouldn't see anything, mate. Well, no, Peter Duke's there. That's all you can tell him. Spotter would tell him. Peter Duke's up the road, mate.
And that's all he needs to know for the moment. Just basically following him here. If you can see the Acura in front, there are certainly points on this circuit where he can't, as we've discussed. The very low sun setting that we've had through much of this season. In fact, the early morning start times, 9:05 in the morning.
Call that early. I'm
for
up at
this
5
race.
a.m. for this race, mate. What are you talking about?
Yes, in the real world, it is earlier for some. In towards the final corner, they come again. That's the look back from Duke. When are these lot going to blink? There have been some more pit stops further back, as we've discussed. Will one of these three now decide it's time? No. They carry on again. So far, John Johnson, Mark Wesley, Mickey Dolan, Dylan Bass-Biss and Phil Giles have all been into the pit lane. That's the third of the field already having been in. Tim Reed is now going to join them from fifth.
Yeah, they got traffic coming up the road too, as you can see on your pictures, and that's Mark Wesley. JJ's down a lap. Mark Wesley is next up on their list of cars to get past. Will that be a factor in this race so far, when every millisecond counts?
Reed on his way back out again. He's in a load of clean air. That's good news for him. Fantastic news for him. Can he get amongst these three maybe after the pit stops? It seems like a long shot, but stranger things have happened. For a bit of a slide on the way out for White. Still, he's dancing on those rear tyres at the moment, which can happen in that Mercedes. It's a good job you can save the slides pretty easily in this pretty stable platform. Now through the chicane again. Three different manufacturers, McLaren, Acura and Mercedes, battling over the final race win of the season. The two ahead, battling for their first win of the season. Andy White has taken three already. He's going to have at least a 50% success rate by the end of the season. But is he going to make it a 2/3 success rate with a fourth win out of 6 here at Donington Park? Hartley Price currently holds that position, but it's not by much. And now Duke comes in. White follows him. I would have thought White would have done something different there, but no. It's, in fact, only the leader that goes on one more.
Jared Love in as well. So that's interesting between those three. We kind of suspected that something like that was going to happen. Tight pit lane entrance too, so very last late minutes, and super, super bumpy. Kind of reminds me of Japan as well, too, on the Formula 1 track. Suzuka was a bit bumpy like that, but we'll see how it pans out for those drivers. Sean Clark coming in background. Our sponsor, of course, is Fantastic Series. So we'll see how it pans out. When are the rest going to come in? HHP stayed out. Tim stayed out. Scotty stayed out.
So just the three of them yet to make their stop, is it? Out front?
Yes, sir.
There is Aidan Hadfield as well, but he's further down the field in ninth for the moment. White is still behind Duke, and this is why I'm surprised he came in on the same lap. They've just exited the pit lane. White is exactly in the same position he was before, still stuck behind Peter Duke.
Sean Clark's coming out right now. Will he get out ahead of Phil? Yes, he will. Adrian Hatfield's sitting in the pit road at the moment, having that scheduled pit stop done. So the top three are yet to pit currently at the moment. How's it going to pan out? Peter Duke, Andy White, Jared Love, the top three provisionally, let's say, pending this situation with these three drivers heading a pit road.
Surely their time is near. We are nearly 2/3 of the way through the race, and indeed Harry Hartley Price is in. So where is he going to be in relation to these two? Have they worked together enough here to get out ahead of him? Again, still surprised White followed Duke, to be honest with you, but that's in the past now. He's going to have to do the overtakes on the circuit. Will it be just one overtake on Duke, or will it be two, with Harry Hartley Price getting out either between the two, which seems unlikely, or ahead of them both, which seems a bit more likely? There he is, the McLaren stopped in the box. The pit stop time for these two was 17 and 15 seconds. Despite White's quicker pit stop time, it was still not enough. Hartley Price now stopped for 14.8 seconds. He's on his way back out again now. As White pulls alongside Duke, it could even be free wide in towards turn one with the exit of the pit lane here from Hartley Price. He's going to sneak out just in front of the McLaren. Duke holds on the inside, but here comes White. He knows that this is the time. He can't afford to let his championship rival run away too far, and he's trying to get that second place down the hill.
Wow, Harry would have a big smile on his face knowing he just got out ahead of these two. Didn't want to be behind them, certainly in the mix there, certainly behind the trees at the moment for the cameras, but Andy White putting that pressure on. He knows this is it. 14 minutes to go, no more pit stops. Bring it home. Get past that top 3. This is going to be fantastic racing. Tim Reed down after his pit stop, 6 seconds to change down the road in P4.
Yeah, just less than quarter of an hour remaining in this race, and White's got to move quickly now. We've seen so far in this race that these moves are not easy to come by. You've got to make them when you can. You've got to take the chances that are presented to you, and if you don't, then you're going to struggle to make positions and struggle to get to where you want to be. White still does look like a really strong competitor compared to the other two, but is he able to make the moves on the circuit? Duke still stuck in the middle now. He's applying decent pressure to Harry Hartley-Price, but has shown no signs since he got overtaken of really looking to try and re-overtake him.
These are the top 3 in the Pro Championship, and at the moment, of course, it's the other way around. So Andy White's leading up Harry in P2 and Peter Duke in P3. So that's the situation there. But you've got to have it. Like Peter Duke's got to be the one that's just got to win here, and these other two essentially have to drop way down the field in order for him to steal this championship away. That's on my math.
At the moment,
yeah.
At the moment, I'll just do the maths now. Andy White came into today 27 points behind. He would still be 21 points ahead. He's still in a comfortable place because he's still third and having a good day so far. Sean Clark would be gaining some points in the AMs as well, although he has just been overtaken, actually. So again, he'd be losing a few points. There goes Phil Giles down the inside of Dylan Bates-Bliss. So another great performance from the AM driver. It looks like Phil Giles is on his way to a championship by extending his championship lead here on the final day to 27 points.
Yeah, Phil just got past, as you could see, the Alienware on the side of his car, and he got past the Scooby-Doo machine of Dylan, who has his dog on the car as well too, that he's spoken to us about that before. Jared Love and Mickey Dillon going for it too. And now, what happened to Jared Love's pit stop? Yeah, he went in twice. Oh, I'd say he's got speeding in the pit lane as he just drives all the way around Mickey. Mickey didn't want to pick the fight with him on that one. Lets Jared Love through. And he's got a bit of work to catch up to his fellow Scott. Yeah, because he went down. He's been down the pit lane 2 times now, and I'd imagine it's a penalty. These two ain't finished just yet, mate.
I think it was speeding on the exit or unsafe pit exit, which is what would have happened. Otherwise, he would have served it in his stop. This is Giles versus Bates-Bliss, and it's absolutely not over yet. That's a lap car just on the other side. Cullimore pulling off the circuit there to try and stay out the way of these two, who are fighting very hard for 6th place. Bates-Bliss again on the inside. There's contact. The AM Championship leader goes around. Sean Clark comes to a stop almost to try and get through on both of them, and he will do. But Giles, unfortunately, drops down to 8th place. Bates-Bliss will give him that place back, but they both lost a position each.
Yeah, he's going to give it back. He realised it was my bad. That's why he completely stopped on the track there at the moment, and because he got into him. Good sportsmanship. We've seen that before all season long between these gladiators. And let's go back and have a look at the situation. You can see up the road. This is Christopher trying to get out of the way. And then you watch, he'll get back into the situation. These two up the road here are going to get into each other. There he goes, doors him, turns him, realises my bad. Christopher has to slow up at the moment and just sneaks through the middle of it. And this is the situation.
He's a lap behind these guys. Yeah, apologies, I called that wrong at the time. It's not Cullimore, it was Christopher Hines. This is what happened. Did or was Bates-Bliss going to miss the apex? Probably, actually. Yeah, so he was probably right to redress that position there in the McLaren. He eventually pulled over on the front straight after realising that accelerating out of the way would probably have been a better idea, and he certainly did. So yeah, as you say, good sportsmanship between them once again. And Giles has got straight back past Clark anyway, so he's not only still ahead of Bates-Bliss, but Sean Clark gives over that position again. It feels like it anyway, and it looks like Phil Giles is certainly on his way to a championship at the end of these next 10 minutes as well.
Fantastic battling between those 3 drivers back here for P6 on your pitches as well, too, of a lap car in the mix. I didn't think it wasn't too long, actually, surprisingly enough, that Jared Love's going to be in the bat of Scotty here. So the battle of the Scots, believe it or not, here, down in P9, 6 positions up for Scott Crostic, and Jared Love is down 6 after having to serve that penalty that we assume because he went down pit road twice. So he's got a bit of work to do. Clearly, he's wanting to be up the mix there with Tim Reed, his other fellow Scotsman, that he was running up there in P4 and P5 earlier.
This is livening up towards the end, actually, with the amount of battles. Love is one of them. Whether he'll be able to get any others after Scott Kostridge, I'm not entirely sure. He's got to actually get past Kostridge first. But yeah, there's some smaller gaps now as a result of the spin for 6th place we were seeing just a few moments ago. That's a bit wide for Kostridge in towards turn 7, but Love doesn't quite take advantage. Very difficult to do so. There was a Porsche in the way after all. Now towards turn 8. It's a pretty narrow line in there for Kostridge, and here comes Love on the exit. That is a good exit. Is it good enough though? Or does his fellow Porsche is going to let him have that one? He realises that Jared Love is quicker, and through goes the Scotsman.
Jared Love is quicker than you. Confirm on the radio. Remember with the Fernando call, the famous one back in the day. Sean Clark behind Phil. Phil, as you said, looking good for this championship. No problemo for the AM class. Still no changes at the front here at the moment, with HHP still leading from Andy White, Peter Duke. Dylan's in again.
Pit lane for base blitz. Wow. Has he reached the incident limit after that contact last lap or a couple of laps ago? I'm not sure, but he's driving right the way through pit lane.
That is very interesting.
He's not stopping.
He's not stopping. Yep, you're right on that one. I think that's the only punishing thing about iRacing sometimes, isn't it? When you get into a few little shenanigans. Well, they need a decent AI model, don't they, to kind of look back at situations and say if there was a couple of cars being involved, some off-tracks should be neglected.
Might have got a 4X as well for the contact with Phil Giles, so we'll find out later on that. But unfortunately, that drive-through penalty has cost him a lot of positions, so that's now down to 11th for him. Oh, just blinking slightly there through the final corner. Hopefully that gets sorted out here as they cross the line again. This is going to be still 6 laps to go, by the way, for this race. It's a pretty short lap round here, so 6 more times around. But so far, Andy White has barely been within half a second of the lead here. He is not getting very close to making this overtake. He's got to start to apply some more pressure shortly because, this race is running out of time.
Just loving it. It's beautiful, picturesque conditions to be going for a motor race, and picturesque conditions for the finale at the Tanso Racing Group GT3 Challenge here for Season 5. Don't forget out there, if you're tuning in at the moment, Season 6 just around the corner, so sign up there and get out there and battle it out with these Top Guns.
Yep, it's been good. It's been a good watch so far. The first 40 minutes of this one, just another 5 to go, just over. Can Andy White get any closer here to Hartley Price? At the moment, it's not quite looking likely. Harry's really going to want to hold on here. It is his local circuit, he told me a couple of weeks ago. So he will certainly be very experienced around here. Home field advantage maybe putting him at an advantage, but Andy White is a very quick driver, as we know. He's already won 3 out of the 5 races so far. Can he maybe make it 4 out of 6 here? He's applying the pressure to do so, and Peter Duke is lurking there as well. These 3 have been so well matched over the course of the race and driving so well as well between the 3 of them.
You're just wondering whether or not something's brewing up for a late send, a late dive. It's not going to switch things around too much there in that championship, but it's a little bit of bragging rights, isn't it, to win the finale race, regardless of where you're going to finish in the championship at that point. Well, not take the championship away from Mr. Andy White here, but anything can happen.
Yeah, well, it could. I mean, it's looking very unlikely that will change hands now, but it would be... it's going to be a battle for the win between the 2 of them anyway. This is Peter Duke. He's probably going to have the best seat in the house to watch this fight as well over the last 5 minutes. Now, whether they do actually fight or not is going to be another thing, I suppose, and whether Duke can get involved or not is another thing again. But if it does transpire up ahead that it's head-to-head up ahead between the 2 of those, between the McLaren and the Mercedes, it could well be Peter Duke with the best view of all, and that is a bit wide from White. That's not going to help him through the Melbourne hairpin. Now, is Duke going to have a dive at the final corner? No, he's not going to be doing that. He's too far away. He just tries to get in the mirrors, though, of that Mercedes, who will not quite go on the defensive, but you can tell White was just looking in his mirrors there, wondering what Peter Duke was going to do.
He's got to duke it out. I know it's said that a few times this season. Mr. Peter Duke, who's third at the moment in the race, third in the championship. Nothing will switch away from him on these two, unless, of course, these two come into each other, and Peter Duke may steal second in the championship, but that's only if these two up the road manage to tangle and get thrown out of the ball.
I'm surprised almost we've not made that Duke choke earlier in this race, to be honest. He has been, he's been in the battles.
Got to wait for the last couple of laps there at the moment. Peter Duke's had that a few times this season. HHP knows it. I call him the law firm.
And in the middle, Andy White, who is our champion in waiting here in this series. 4 minutes to go, and again he's still not getting close enough to that McLaren up in front. This is such a considered and solid drive from Harry Hartley-Price here, who is not making a single error. He's not even left the door ajar at any point for Andy White to burst open and try and start his own party. It looks like it's Harry Hartley-Price who's going to hang on. He's still got 3 more laps to go after this one, by the way. It's still a long way round, but he has still got that pressure, and so far it's not affecting him at all.
If anything, it's helping him in that little battle behind him, as he can take the pressure off and he can just keep his eyes peeled forward there, focus on spotting your braking points and entry and exit each corner, as he's been doing so well during this race. He's got his fastest lap's been at 27.15. It's not the quickest, the 27 flat from Jared Love, and there's our camera guy. There you go. So now swing it to the left, mate. Well,
he's not. He doesn't like swinging it to the left, apparently. He doesn't want to follow the leaders. He's filming someone else. I don't know whether he's spotted someone in the crowd.
Sheila with bikini sitting enjoying these conditions here.
Not in England.
No.
Oh dear. 2.5 minutes to go, and it is status quo between these front three. They've run around at a frightening pace for the 3/4 of an hour. Frighteningly close together as well. So well matched, the three of them. Like a time trial between the three of them, but no passing opportunities. That shot there is one I always love, by the way, through the chicane. Just like a slalom course through the through that chicane, through 9 and 10. And then down in towards the Melbourne hairpin. Hasn't been utilised quite as much for overtaking between these guys as maybe some would have expected. Not that far up in front is Adrian Hatfield, by the way. With 2 laps to go, they might catch him. Probably not. He's quite a long way away. He's nearly the whole front straight away. But it's just worth bearing in mind. Lurking in the front as 2 minutes to go, 2 laps to go in this season.
Yeah, that shot that you mentioned as well too kind of reminds me when you come out of the tunnel and you got, I can't remember that corner's now in Formula 1, but it's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Like you see the roll, the cars, the camber in action, and how they throw it through. Whoa, wide there from Andy.
Oh,
that's going to allow Peter Duke to get that pedal
wide
to the metal and try to seize an opportunity if one, but he's a little bit too far back to capitalise on it at the moment.
Wide again there for White. Oh, not great, but get away with it. Duke will now close in. Here we go. Through the right-hander at turn 8. This is the best chance at an overtake, I think, for second place. Duke may have been hanging back just so that he could hope for a battle for the lead that he could capitalise on. Now that he surely knows that's not going to happen with the laps winding down, he's got to try and make his own attack now on Andy White. It's a better line. It's a bit of a slide. He could have done without that here in the Acura. Now down the hill in towards the hairpin again. Can he apply this pressure and get through here on the last lap? He knows that Andy White is close to his limit now, pushing, as he did just go a little bit wide and he went off himself through the old hairpin a little bit of time ago.
Dying stages of the season. Dylan might be a last chance opportunity there on Mickey Doolan. That's another great little battle that's forming, but we will have to go back up to the front, gentlemen. Sorry, you choreograph your overtake a lap earlier there, Mr. Dillon, and we'll have that on the pictures because we have to see these 3 top guns bringing it home for the last time this season. Who wants to get the last bragging rights in the championship?
Doesn't look like it was much of a battle anyway for 10th, by the way. Dylan Bass-Bliss was rather let through by Mickey Dolan there. Yep, the white flag is waving now on the season. The final lap of the Clock St James GT3 Championship for Season 5. And Harry Hartley-Price has survived under supreme pressure here at Donington Park this afternoon. Andy White, the champion in waiting, He's been applying that pressure all day long. Peter Duke right in behind doing the same, watching on, waiting and hoping for a battle. It's not happened for him, and so they're going to scrap for second as Hartley Price weaves around. He almost as if he's celebrating victory already here in towards the chicane. He hasn't won this season yet, by the way, in a bit of a surprise, so he knows this is his moment. He's letting them catch up, by the way, by weaving around like this. White will be in his mirrors, looking at Duke there, who goes deep into the Melbourne hairpin, and that might well be that. He had his one chance. He was trying to get the run out for the final corner, I think, but that's not quite worked out. Into the final corner come the leaders. After an exceptionally close battle between the three of them, a race of trading blows. Ooh. It's Harry Hartley Price who's going to come up towards the line and take victory in the final round of the championship here at Donington Park, ahead of champion Andy White, confirmed with second place here tonight at Donington Park. That is his 6th podium in 6 races here this season. Giles versus Clark is going to go on for second in the hours behind Tim Cullimore, who's going to win in the class. There is the battle. Giles on the inside line ahead of Clark, who goes wide. And that's rather a description of how the championship has gone. Phil Giles is going to be the AM champion, just ahead of Sean Clark.
Yeah, Sean Ormack could throw everything away the final corner there. I thought there was going to be a situation with Andy White and Peter Duke at some point. Actually, more Harry. I thought he was going to cook it too far, just focusing on celebrating a little bit too early, but he didn't need to worry about that one. Phil takes the AM championship. Sean Clark a little bit further down. Jared, Love there, and Scotty are going to be retiring their cars. Dylan ends up bringing it home in that P10 position there. Mickey Doohan, Evolution Sim Racing UK, Mark Wesley still out on track and getting across for the final time this season as well too from him, and Adrian Hatfield will also be wrapping it up in the final corners. There he goes. Sees Barney for the final time this season. Adrian Hatfield should be coming around the corner soon, and see Barney as well too, to wrap up our stacked 15 grid here for the finale.
Yeah, although he doesn't stop waving his flag even after the last driver crosses the line. So that's going to carry on, as we saw in qualifying. 13 finishing on the lead lap for the end of this season. All of them finishing the race, though, which is fantastic. And by the way, next to no incidents around such a difficult circuit like this one. A very impressive performance from all the drivers to have hung on to their cars and put on such a good performance and such an incident-free race with this circuit. I think Andy White's going off to do some donuts. He's certainly driving through the gravel at the moment.
Yes, he is.
Is he going to turn the traction control off and burn? He's have
stuck.
We missed them?
He's stuck, I think.
Oh, he might be, yeah. He needs someone to go and give him a little push off the curb there.
Yeah, they should. I don't think there'll be any penalties, but I don't see anything happening in the car at the moment. Just looking at the cockpit, they're not revving it or anything. Oh.
I don't know. He's gone back to pit lane now anyway. He'll be celebrating his championship tonight, though. That is for sure. Let's take a look at the race results then before we have a chat to some of these drivers after the race, as always. It is a win for the first time this season for Harry Hartley Price, who takes them in by 4/10 this time, ahead of Andy White and Peter Duke. The whole top three separated by less than a second. Tim Reed finishes 4th, but Tim Cullimore, who is the AM winner tonight. Phil Giles and Sean Clark round out the podium places. Jared Love, Scott Kostridge and Dylan Bates round out the top 10. Mickey Dolan was just outside of that top 10, with Mark Wesley and Aidan Hatfield just finishing on the lead lap. John Johnston and Christopher Haynes rounding out those who finished. They were a lap down, but they did get to the end at least. All of our drivers getting to the end with very minimal incidents. That's, I think, a ringing success for this season, I think. And well done to everybody for that. Let's bring in Harry Price, first of all, the race winner from tonight here at Donington Park. Congratulations, Harry, on your first win of the season, and it had to come at Donington Park as well. Just tell us about that last portion of the race there. It was a great battle between the three of you. Even if it wasn't much side by side, you were racing each other really hard there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, to be fair, the last part seemed a bit more chill as such, but the first part was like, I don't know. I had to, at one point, open my window. I was boiling. I thought we were going to black out. It was brilliant. For me, best race of the season.
Well, I mean, it helps when you win as well, of course. How has the season been? How has the season been overall? You've second place in the championship confirmed tonight.
Yeah, it's been good. I think early on at Daytona, I had a bit of a problem. And then one of the races I didn't do too good, but it's come back the latter end. But yeah, just congrats, Andy. He's absolutely dominated in a bloody bus, which I think the make is. I love the make, but it is a bus compared to like a McLaren or Porsche. So yeah, I hope he's well, not. I hope. I'm glad he's won.
But if I say, I hope he's happy. like
Yeah, I hope. I lost my word.
Anyway, no, congratulations for yourself for winning here tonight and finishing second in the championship. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
Probably just my dog again. Or Barney.
That's fair enough. Congratulations on the win tonight, and thanks for chatting to us as well.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks very much, Harry Price there, the winner here at Donington Park, just ahead of Andy White, who can now join us as well. A champion for the series, Andy, although that was almost confirmed before tonight. Anyway, in second place here tonight. You spent a long time stuck behind Harry Price towards the end there. Just tell us about how difficult it was to overtake.
Oh, really? I wasn't really looking too much for the overtake. I was just trying to stay safe and just secure the position. But then I started driving a little bit scruffy. Started collecting the off track. I ended up with 14 in the end, so it was really bad performance. But yeah, just trying to stay on the track. And the safer I tried to drive, the worse I seemed to drive.
Maybe a sign for the future to just keep pushing the whole way. We'll see. I mean, how has the season been for you as a whole? How does it feel to now finally have this officially wrapped up now? Even though you came in tonight with a big lead, it was possible for you to lose the championship. How do you feel now it's all wrapped up?
Oh, it's brilliant, mate. It's been a great season. I've benefited from some luck in some races, but we've always been there or thereabouts. I mean, the big slide at Zandvoort, I don't know how I saved that. I know we finished the race. And as well as 130R at Suzuka, where we had Leah spin in front of us. So we've had some luck.
Oh, you always need a little slice of it towards the season, that's for sure. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
Just a big shout out to you guys for another great broadcast, and as always all season. Sean for organising it all. It's been a great season, and everybody who's taken part. Well done to everybody. It's been a great season. Everybody's done really well, so I look forward to seeing them all next season.
Absolutely. We look forward to seeing you in season 6. Thanks so much for coming to chat to us, Andy, and congratulations on the title.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Andy White there in second place tonight, but the champion overall. Now to the AM champion, Phil Giles, who finished in second place here tonight. Congratulations, Phil, on officially securing the title now in the AM championship and a second place here tonight at Donington Park as well. You seem to have a bit of an up and down race, and we'll deal with that first. Ended up finishing one position behind where you qualified in the top 5. Just tell us a little bit about the race and the trials and tribulations you had.
Oh yeah, that was manic. So I got a good start. I knew I had to keep ahead of Sean because he's second in the championship, but Gerard has got some good pace. So I wanted to try and stick with him, and he was making a couple of mistakes. I thought, okay, I can sit here okay. And then I made a big whopper of a mistake at Goddard's, and for the first time, despite the little practice I did today, it's the first time I've spanned there, but I spanned just on the trail braking going in, just over the little rise. And then I had to quickly recover. Hopefully I didn't disturb anybody getting back on. And then I had to chase back. That was going quite well. Gradually getting a couple of tenths back on Sean, and I think it was Dylan. And then I think I went for a lunge up the inside of Sean. We were just chatting about it in the lobby. He tried to close the door on me, but he left just enough room for my skinny frame to nip through. So I got him at the Melbourne. And then a couple of laps later, I was battling with Jared. And he gave me another little kiss on Gerard's. So I had 2 spins on Goddard. Sorry, get the right track. So yeah, quite an eventful race. But as you alluded to, it's nice to secure the championship. I'm virtually spraying my champagne all over my garage.
Yeah, hopefully not literally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's been a great season for you. 3 wins out of 6 races. Interestingly, a 4th different winner in the season tonight for Tim. So it's been a very open season, if you like. But how has it been to sort of on the run up to this race now having clinched this title? You pretty much knew beforehand, but now it is absolutely confirmed. How does it feel to get to the end of this season at the top of the standings?
It's great to be at the end, at the top, but I want it to be carry on. I was enjoying it so much. I don't want to wait 4 weeks or whatever it is for the next championship. It's been great. The Tanso group are really, really friendly. It's the first time I've raced with them. I've like I say, I've brought my friend from work, Chris, in, and we're both having a ball. It's a great crew to race with, and so fast, so competitive. I think the top 10 were within a second or something. You guys probably know better than me if you got the times handy, but it was really close. Lots of people in the 27s.
Yeah, I mean, in the race, the top 10 all had their best lap times in the top 20, in the 27s, as you say, in the top 10. So, yeah, really close indeed. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to the missus for letting me have a play again. It's always nice that she lets me disappear and not have to watch Love Island or whatever. I was going to say crap, but she might be listening, so whatever entertainment she would like to put on the TV. Shall we just say that? Is that diplomatic?
The Love Boat.
Yeah.
You might have
Thank you, Jed.
snatched victory from the jaws of defeat there. Congratulations on the AM title, Phil, and thanks for chatting to us as well.
Thank you very much, gents. Cheers.
Thanks very much. That is Phil Giles there, hopefully not in trouble after chatting to us here after the race tonight at Donington Park. And finally, before we leave you, let's chat to Sean Clark as well, who finished in third place in the AM class here tonight. Congratulations, Sean, on another podium here this season. That's 4 for you now in season 5. How was the race for you?
Just absolutely fantastic. Who doesn't like Donington? Great season finale. And it was just a bit of luck that me and Phil got to pseudo battle it out, if you like, at the end there, which was brilliant fun. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it was good to watch as well. How was the battling around this circuit? Because some of the drivers up front, the top 3, were finding it quite difficult to pass one another.
Yeah, I mean, it was nigh on impossible. You were just waiting for someone to make a mistake. I think I overtook Phil twice, and both of those were because he lost it or got taken out. There was no real overtaking. It's just the points, the pinch points, like the chicane. You can catch them up, but then you've got the hairpin to follow. And I mean, he did a lovely number on me on that hairpin. Couple of laps from the end to take it and dove up the inside. But yeah, you've got to be brave. You've got to be willing to execute, really, and I'm just not that good.
It was good to see you out there battling again, though. It was certainly an action-packed race for you, that's for sure. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out again before we let you go?
Yeah, so because it's the season finale, got to say thank you to Clark St James, the main sponsors. Thank you to you guys. Broadcasts have been absolutely awesome. A couple of car sponsors, Landman Solar and the Sweet Store. Check those out. They're my car sponsors this season. And just thank you to everyone for taking part. And it's a smallish league, smallest field, but there's some close battling, which makes it fun to take part and hopefully fun to watch. Back again next season.
Absolutely, back again season 6. Thanks for coming to chat to us, Sean, and congratulations on another podium tonight.
Cheers. See you soon. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Sean Clark there in third place tonight at Donington Park in the AM class. Well, that's just about it for season 5 of the Clark St James GT3 Championship. It's been good to be here, Biggles, for the 6 rounds. 2 deserving champions in Andy White and Phil Giles, and now everyone's focus, of course, will turn ahead to season 6.
Yes, absolutely. So congratulations to everybody that's competed in this fantastic competition, and big celebrations, of course, to, as you mentioned, to both of the drivers, and there's Andy White as well, too. Celebrating the bubbly stuff, no doubt, after Barney waves that checkered flag. He finishes as P2 on the race, but wins the GT3 Pro class.
Absolutely. Pro champion Andy White, AM champion Phil Giles, and congratulations to them. We will hopefully see them in season 6 of the Clark St James GT3 Championship. Launches on the 3rd of March with the first promo round, so make sure you join us for that. If you are interested in joining the league, then you can visit the Discord, which is there is a link to in our video description. If you follow there, you'll get in, and you'll be able to find the sign-up sheet for either this league or any of the other leagues you might want to take part in, including the GR86s, which we also cover here on the JP YouTube channel on Sunday nights. If we see you then see you on Sunday. But other than that, we'll see you again at another broadcast very soon. I've been Ewan O'Leary alongside Biggles for this round of the Clock St James GT3 Championship. From all of us here at the end of Season 5, it's goodbye for now.